Alright. Whoa. Capture. Capture me. Oh, I know what fixes this. The light. Ah! Didn't fix anything. How do I change my... How do you refresh your capture? Refresh device. There we are. Bada bing. Alright, welcome. Hey, Harry. Let's see, what are we getting into today, everybody? First things and foremost, welcome. It's me. We are chilling once more. And, ooh, my coffee cup is green. Duly noted. How you doing, War Master? It's your circus up there. You see your circus? Let's see. So yeah, today, I think today we are going to be working on Tier 1. The Duke's story. Let me just clean up a bit of this before I pull y'all into it. Why is there this huge space? I hate that. There's this huge space on my page. Daggerford. Oh, yeah. We're doing some. D to the A-ford. Baby. Okay, cool. I can delete these ones. Bold. The blood of the long hand. Make this smaller. Ah.
Thanks for calling Mass Health. My name is Robert.
Oh, finally. And I have given up, officially, an hour to talk to a human being. Gah. Hi, everybody. Here's me on a low energy day, trying to stay with it. But we're gonna try and just, get lost up in the fantasy world here, and everything's just gonna be hunky-dory day. I hope everybody in the stream is having a good day. Actually, this should be on its own. Control blah. All right, well, let's show you what I'm working on. I'm just really just tweaking around on some of these there document pages there. Sturges. I mean, I guess I could. Will this fit up here? Yeah. There we go. Now I got it all on the same page. That makes me happy. Oh, now that fits underneath. Man, formatting be so weird sometimes. Okay. This is for me. Also for me. This is going to bring the first couple pages I think I'm going to have be like first couple pages I'm going to have be just like I'm going to give those to the players, and then the other last bits of the pages are going to be for me. Let's see, Duke Story Tier 1. Let's see, we wrote it down. Drillfield. Training. Lacey. Dolphin. One to borrow. And Gren Longhand. To lead them in magical and martial training. 2 respective rolls for each member, an attack at AC 10, and a skill attack at AC 10, and a target. And a skill check at DC 10. And then I guess, like, if there was to perchance be, like, a healer in the group, I might allow them to, like, make a Cure Wounds check instead of an attack roll. If somebody, like, was, like, all, like, being, like, a peace cleric and stuff. But I think most of the other classes I'd be able to just be like, yo, just make your attack. Or, like, then the skill check would be as simple as, like, an athletics or a, wow, I can't even think today. An athletics roll, what's the other one? Acrobatics, sleight of hand. Honestly, it would be, like, make a check of your choice. I guess, honestly, like, let me look. Might be a better idea to look and then kind of just discern. Because if I give them anything, acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight. Because I want it to be, like, fairly balanced for both classes. Yeah, I guess insight could definitely be one. Or investigation. So let me put, like, a little list for, two rolls for each member. Skills. Could be acrobatics, athletics, sleight of hand. What else do we think? Acrobatics, athletics, intimidation, investigation, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion, stealth. Stealth could be one. And, like, also, these are interchangeable, so I think, like, you know, I'm a very open person. Hey, what's up, guest? Thanks for stopping by. I'm a very open person when it comes to D&D, especially because, like, I really embody the Gish persona. I like being a caster and a martial dude. I don't like being either or, right? So, like, I could be a martial role and want to get in on some of this. So, you know, I don't want to leave them out, per se. So, let's see. Arcana. I think Arcana's a weird one to do. I think Insight and Investigation are totally good ones to do. Man, I have to, like, re-click on the window after I click on the window. It's like one click. It's just like I don't wanna click. Let's see. Insight, investigation, perception, persuasion. And then let's go down the list of what we have here. Let me just do this. Bop. Bop, bop. Acrobatics, dex, athletics, strength, sleight of hand. Oh, come now. Sleight of hand is dex, stealth is dex. So that dex is there any other? There isn't any other for strength. But that kind of fills all the roles of your martial characters, I presume. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have insight, which is wisdom. We have investigation, which is intelligence, perception, wisdom, and persuasion, charisma, which would leave us with strength, dexterity. So nothing for con. Is there any con on here? I don't think there are any con skill checks. There are not. Perfect. So we've hit all the angles, I think. So that's good. We definitely want to make sure we have everything being rolled out. And then I guess medical. Forgo an attack roll for a heal check. Heal /8. Actually be 5 /8 wounds or similar spell. Medicine check DC 10. Yeah? Yeah. So nice. So essentially what I've created here for Tier 1 play is... Hey, what's up, Tim? What's your question? Welcome to the channel. How may I be of assistance? Hey there, looks like we had another one top in. What's going on? Welcome to the channel. I was just finishing up kind of like my Tier 1 encounter, level 1 encounter here. It's just going to be a training exercise where the party is going to meet their first day of training on militia at the drill fields. And we will go about role-playing some yelling and some encouraging and some whispering. Of course, we'll do some checks where each character will have a training task that they must complete. And each character is going to have 2 tasks that they'll have to complete for a total of 8. And if they succeed on more than half of them, then I'll reward them all with a chunk of experience and send them on their way. If they, of course, fail this, then I will just roll it over and we will continue doing the training until they get it, because the characters are expected to train at least once a month. At least once. They can train more if they would like. So on their return the following month, they can again try once more to complete these tasks and gain that 100 experience, which if we scroll up here to our experience bar, 100's like one ninth right here of your level 3, and it's like 1/3 of your level 2. So like in that those first 2 levels, it's a pretty chunky piece of experience. So I think 100's a good number there to guarantee them. And like anything after that, training's not going to give them experience. This is just solely just an opening starter thing, I guess, for my players. Oh, we love it. Human artificer with a revolver, and wanted to know if to attack I needed intelligence or wisdom. I believe the artificer at a certain level changes their attack modifier to their intelligence. And not only that, I believe they have the options to kind of move it around. So you could make your dexterity bonus for your AC switch over to your intelligence, I believe. Yeah, so the artificers run through intelligence. I just did a one-shot where we were rolling for stats, and we got to roll with a d20, and I landed a crit on intelligence, and I was like, oh my god, 20 intelligence. I'm like, what do I do? And I ended up making an artificer, and they were so BA. I'm not 100% sure. We can check very easily, though, by doing as such. Let's bring us over here. Let's go to characters. Yeah, old Numeras there. I told you, this is it. This is the artificer I made. Magical tinkering, infuse items. Yeah, so I think you want to look into your infusions here. Armor, magical strength. I chose the best misspelled. Yeah, so if you're a battlesmith at level 3, you have to check other things. So you said it's a level 2 for your one shot, so I don't think you'll have access to right here this amazing feature at level 3, battle ready. You gain proficiency with all martial weapons. When you attack with a magic weapon, you can use your intelligence modifier instead of your strength or dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. I love playing battlesmith. It's so BA. So basish. Homunculus is awesome. I'm not sure when other features and stuff like that go online. Well, yeah, it's dexterity. It will depend. It's whatever your weapon is, temp. So, if you're using like a finesse weapon, it would be dexterity until level 3. So you're level 2, so we're going to assume you're level 2. So it would be dexterity, or if you're doing like a war axe, it would be strength at that point. But again, you also have to be concerned here about proficiencies, as a lot of those proficiencies don't get unlocked until like level 3 with your subclass. Yeah, artificers are really strong once they level up a bit. Level 2 is kind of tough. It's really short. You don't get much. I would be looking for simple things that you can kind of use to your advantage. So, I don't know, what do you get at level 2? You do get infuse items. You get your infusions. So yeah, there you go. That's a very easy combo right there. I think is a super powerful level 2. I would go into Artificer and go infuse items at level 2. I believe you get 3 of them. And grab yourself a homunculus servant. And then go grab yourself mending as a cantrip and just use them as your buddy in combat. Not only do you garner yourself some action economy, but like you can get some advantage on stuff, I presume. I forget what the homunculus does exactly. I believe it can help. So you can use a bonus action to command it to do a different action. So you could have it, carry a grenade somewhere that you have lit the fuse on, right? Or it could just give you advantage on an attack with bonus action. So at level 2, with the Servant, you get a lot of like really cool bonus action play that most classes don't get that early. On top of that, you could go and grab like freaking +1 on your defense. You could grab +1 on your weapon. I believe it makes it magical. Replicate magic item. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff you can still do at level 2, so I wouldn't be discouraged. Nice, awesome. Well, that's the way to do it, Temp. It's really like you gotta find people that love what you do and want to do it with you, and then just keep doing it. It's really it's how I fell in love with the game as well. My friends over on the Lore Masters Guild really just kind of like brought it home for me. And now it's like once you start, you can't stop. So we have, assuming most of the session. I mean, if I can roleplay this out enough, and you have 4 people doing 8 things. I guess it would have the players kind of reconvene. Oh. Wow, okay. Is it right or is it wrong? Party reconvenes at barracks to unwind. And plan out their evening. So I think there's a lot of just fun angles and stuff that I'm starting to realize about like how I've created this. So like the people at Daggerford, they're, everybody's on the militia, so it's like the whole city, so it's almost like a very common thing. And you're only there temporarily, right? So like it could be very real that you're only just using this one bunk for a certain amount of time, but like everybody would have similar bunks that they would maybe use on their shifts that rotate. So maybe there could be some cool play where like players leave messages in their trunks before their shift's over for the next person, right? Also like right here, like planning out their evening, like perhaps players would, maybe want to go out to the town and, get into a little fun or ruckus. Perhaps I'll have a couple of the people on the militia group say, we're not sitting around here. We're going to go out and have some fun before we have to go back to work tomorrow. It's a weekend. Screw this. Just maybe entice some of the players. Perhaps there's other things that these players would like to do. We just started allowing the game and do a dragon fight. Awesome, I love that. So what happened with me, right? So I had played for like like I played when I was younger, when I was a kid and a teenager, and then like didn't play for a while, and then just got back into it past like 4 or 5 years, right? And I just kind of like stepped back after 2 years of play, and I'm just like, I don't think I fought, or I don't think any of my friends have fought a dragon in like at least 2 years. Like you're like, what's going on? This is Dungeons and Dragons. We should fight a dragon. So I made a one shot called Dragon Slayer. It's just like so we could play out a dragon. We begin guard duty. Huh. Let's see. The garden, they're on the wall. I think the first day of guard duty, I was gonna give them a pass and just allow them to make some checks for some information. Name ideas for the one shot. I want it to kind of be a pun about the name of the game. Dragons and Dragons? Just dragons. Dragons and ... I think I like that one the best. Dragons and ? Question mark? Maybe? Let's see. Guard duty. I don't think I want to be a nuisance with the perception checks on the wall. Yeah, dungeons. I think that's better, Temp. That's definitely better. Dungeons and then like the session's all about dragons. Like, where did the dragons go in Dungeons and Dragons? They're in this one shot. That's where they are. Following morning at dawn, the players will begin guard duty. The shift consists of no, it's a 2-part shift. Four hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening. Most militiamen attend the mess hall in the barracks. However, it is not required. So look at what I'm doing here, right? So again, just creating layers to my story and giving my players options in ways in which they can roleplay. Which is very easily done by, they're going to have a guard duty once a month. This guard duty is going to be regimented and expected, and they're going to be doing this frequently, like every 4, 5, 6 sessions-ish. and they'll know what to expect because there's a guard and it works on a shift. They'll learn this shift as they work it themselves and run the beat on the wall. Not only that, but they get an hour break in between their two shifts. Most militiamen would probably go to the mess hall, but some of the more affluent militiamen might go buy themselves lunch at the Flying Fish, right? Which would be fairly common to go, seek out some different food other than the mess hall food, especially for some of the militiamen who have been on for some time. But what if you just skipped your lunch? What if you just took that hour to do something, ascertain some information, sneak around the barracks office during lunch hours while your superior's away, stuff like that. Give them some ways in the story that leaves room for them, but also structure the story so it has a reason to keep moving forward. If all the players kind of nod their head during that 1 hour lunch session and they're just like, I don't know. We just get lunch in the mess, whatever. All right, cool. The players don't have anything for me. Don't force it, right? But then maybe after a couple times, they'll think like, it'd be really nice if I could get this done. Like, I could do it in between, So like when they know it's there, they'll be able to use it in the future if they so choose. If you don't mind, I can show you what I have in mind for the one shot. Yeah, sure. Well, you got some links or something? I always check my links on my phone, and I'll let everybody know if they're cool. Follow links at your own risk on the internets. This is just kind of my general policy. Nothing directed towards you specifically. Each 4-hour shift will come with perception checks upon meeting a DC 20 roll on the random rumor list. Make myself a little list of rumors. I think it's a better way to do that. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, type out this. Temp. So what we do here is this is a safe space for dungeon masters, players alike. So if you have something cool you want to share, like your one shot here, tell me all about it. Let's hear it. People in the chat can comment on it too. Mostly it's just me creating, but a lot of times we'll just pause that to help other people out or see a cool new homebrew subclass or what have you. So it's kind of just what we do here. So yeah, you don't have to ask to share your ideas. Share away, please. That's exactly what we be doing here, Tim. We love it. I'll wait until I move forward on this. So you have a day on the wall. Nothing happens. Once again, the party reconvenes. The barracks unwind, plan out their... Yeah, so I think this is where I want to go back to what I had first originally thought. Yes, and the Watchers and Lurkers, which we love. Everybody takes it at their own speed, right? So one of my ideas was for this militia, they're required to serve, I think it's like 2 or 3 days out of the month and 1 day for training. I was going to make that a firm 5 days by having 4 days for guard watch and then a day for training. However, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do just 4 days straight or 2 days on, 2 weeks off, and then 2 days on. And I think I'm going to go with the bi-weekly thing because just like flow of gameplay and story and roleplay, like I don't want to make these players have to do the same roleplay 4 times in a row. You know, that's a little dry. I think doing it twice is enough. And I can use them both to kind of initiate some encounters, which is kind of just like the goal. Is to kind of give these players, whilst inside the walls, some access to some encounters. So that they can battle, train, get some experience, level up, right? What everyone loves to do. So that's really what the guard duty is for. Is to give them a consistent encounter, you know, that they can rely on to, so they don't have to go looking out for a few levels until the walls get a little dry, or they want to kind of, you know, step out and beyond and do some bigger things, right? Very much that. So I have some monster lists, you know, kind of rolled up, and we'll kind of just do some random encounters whilst on the walls is kind of what we'll look at it as. And then also, like, when we level up a bit further and the players choose to say stay on the militia or haven't finished their term yet, well, then I have ideas for doing, like, patrols outside the walls. And we'll give them more access to story. We'll let them see a bit of the surrounding provinces of Daggerford. And we'll also give them some more encounters. We'll maybe even give them a horse to ride, right? So definitely have some fun with it, I think, as we level up. But let's see what Temp's got to share today. The players arrive to where the kobold... we gotta go up one. Here we go. So players start at a tavern. Love it. Then an NPC enters, screaming for help, saying their child was kidnapped by kobolds. The players arrive to where the kobolds are. Probably a cave, and fight in the entrance. After entering further, they discover that the kobolds were raising like a baby dragon or a young one. I'm a little confused there. I know there's also wyvernlings, but I didn't really look into them. And then they'll come back to the town with the kobold, problem solved, and the new title of Dragon Slayers. Oh, so the kobolds were raising a dragon baby. And they're going to come back with a kidnapped child? Why did they kidnap the child? These are important questions to ask, Temp. Why would to feed the baby dragon? What? That was their easiest option? So now, I'm a big proponent of, like, making things seem a little bit more realistic, as, you know, like, why wouldn't they go get, like, a deer? Why wouldn't they get a cow? Why wouldn't you steal a cow? Why a baby? You know, like, so maybe the farmer and some disappearing animals. Yeah, totally. I think that's like, so, like, you could even do it like this, right? So, like, say they meet at the tavern, and they're talking about the tavern can't stop talking about how all the farmers keep losing animals left and right, and nobody knows what to do. And then some drunkard kind of slams his tankard down and says, "Yeah, damn it, I'll say what nobody else wants to say. It's those damn kobolds over in that cave yonder," right? And just let the players go out on a hunch, and then they can get there and see what's going on, and then make the decision for themselves, right? Like you said, maybe they find a pacifist way to defeat this person, or maybe they just want to slay the dragon, and that's how the fun that we have tonight. I feel like the disappearing animals might be a bit more realistic, but another thing that I would say is, like, you don't necessarily need a reason. Like, there could just be, you know, reports of kobolds, you know, who have been terrorizing the countryside, right? Like, they can just be there and be your bad guy for the one shot. think very small with one shots. You don't want to have a lot of story to kind of eat up the airtime. Yeah, totally. So I would say the biggest thing with and like honestly, so it's a cool story. Like it's a cool structure of a story. I think that definitely has great pieces to it. Um, I just always like when you're a dungeon master, I think it's our job to see through our people's eyes, right? And I'll always ask myself, if you look back on some of my streams, you can check out up on my YouTube. Um, I'll like a lot of times in my character creation, like over here, look. So I would create a character for Daggerford, and I would kind of put them in a place, and then think about what they would do and think about what they would be. Um, and then kind of let like shape the character through their eyes, right? Because they're a person, they're living a life, they have their own wants and needs, right? And the same thing for these kobolds, right? Kobolds aren't necessarily the most intelligent of creatures, but they have, you know, they have intelligence more than zero, and they would still think and you know kind of act for themselves. Um, and I guess thinking as a kobold, a small creature that's not the most formidable in combat, um, definitely doesn't want to lash out in something that's gonna retaliate back twofold, right? So they wouldn't want to do something as atrocious as maybe like stealing a baby, because that's gonna bring the whole town down on you, right? Um, but if you were sneaky, maybe you could, find some meat here and there, right? And I think, like you said, with some farmers and their disappearing animals, great idea, Temp. It seems a little bit more kobold, like this small, sneaky creature that's trying to just find its way, without being too much of a nuisance for the surrounding community, as to ensure their own safety, right? At least until they can raise this little baby dragon to a competent size that can protect them, right? So I think in that sense, right, a short term goal for them isn't the best, right? You need something that's been happening and reoccurring, because a dragon eats a lot of food. It's big, and they need to keep feeding it. So one little baby really is like a drop in the pond to a dragon, because the goat it ate today, it's going to need another goat in a few days, right? So I think you hit the nail on the head with that second idea. Yeah, 2 to 3 hours is a great idea for a one shot, and on that, you really the struggle with a one shot is making it a one shot, because it's really hard to do a complete story and a thing within 3 hours. So I would say two things. Don't overdo your story. Keep it short and concise and simple and very linear. Let them just go on a path to the dragon cave and pretty much just carry them there. And then, secondly, as the DM, when you're running it, I would just be very conscious of time. If players want to waste a lot of time on a door, like, don't let them. Just give them the meta information to get them past that unlocked door. Don't let them waste 30 minutes on an unlocked door. I think that's your job as the dungeon master. Now, in a campaign, I think it's great to sit back and let your players spend 30 minutes on a door, right? We have all the time in the world. But with a one-shot, you only got those 3 hours. So you have 3 hours to tell a story, and do you want that story to be about your players, haggling over an unlocked door? Not really. You want the story to be about the dragons and the kobolds, and you want it to end with the characters coming home as the heroes of the town, right? Like, that's your goal, I would assume. Was Simbarum one that only lasted 2 sessions? Yeah, I mean, that's a short-lived campaign, if anything, but fair enough. It's a lot of times the biggest struggle with Dungeons and Dragons is finding reoccurring party members that can show up and meet at a consistent schedule. Why didn't I just copy and paste this? I don't know. Counter. Okay, so we'll do a day on the wall, low key. We'll do day on the wall with encounter rolls. Party reconvenes at the barracks to let's see. Party reconvenes at the barracks to finish their shift. Let's see. Maybe I want to have separate it. Nice, yeah. Most of my games that I play temp are online. From what you've seen on your server, well, I think that's just a recency bias thing. That's just what you've seen. In my opinion, most games are campaigns that last a long time, and you can't get into any because they're set up and they don't need you know what I mean. So like on Mike's channel, we have several long running campaigns, and that's not to let's say it's like it's a bad thing because like I've been in several of those long lasting campaigns. And every now and then, like we just added somebody just cause like we really liked the person, we liked their vibe, and we thought they could fit into the story, so we just like added a fifth person just cause. So that does happen sometimes. So yeah, party 2 weeks of downtime, and then we're going to repeat. No, no, of course not. Come on over to our server, buddy. We have a few people that are worldly, and I'm not bilingual, but we have a few bilingual people on our channel. Yeah. Argentina. You speak Spanish. Cool. I mean, you type English very well. So if you talk anything like you type, like, you're probably way better than you think. And I feel like I'm kind of like this myself, where I'm a little bit modest and not confident in my own abilities. But I look at a lot of bilingual people who are super humble about their ability to speak a second language. And I'm like, you are like knocking it out of the park, considering that most people can't speak a second language. You are like doing like you're like 90% effective on your second language, and you're like down on yourself that it's not perfect. Like, you type wicked good English. Newgrounds, yeah, nice. Let's see. Bing. Ooh. So what do we got here? What do we got here? Session. 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 So there's like 4 sessions right here. Hey, thanks for the follow, Temp. Here, give me a second. I just gotta do it through here. Where's the rule? Whoa! Spam. Please take care to read our inbound stuff. Assign yourself some roles and do all the inboard stuff. We're an LGBTQ safe space for a Discord server that's all about Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs and some games and some life and just, a little bit of everything. Several games be going down. And as always, we need more dungeon masters. So if you want to maybe run some one-shots, we would love to see it. Let's see. So now, my question is, no, I think just leaving autonomy. Like, my players should continue doing this circle of being on the wall until they want to stop, until they tell me they're done with it, right? This is essentially just an experience grind, and to give them something to do. It's very possible this is just like Daggerford style, like a civilian in Daggerford would just stay on the militia, take their 1 gold per, I think I do like 4 or 5 gold a month. I gotta figure that out with the economy. But take their monthly paycheck and then just live off that, super realistic. Now, these players, I assume, won't want to do that and will have aspirations, and I will dangle carrots for them to do other things until they inevitably have made enough gold that they can pay 1 gold a month for their freedom, for their service of militia to be covered and spotted. So still gotta look into that. Yeah, sure. I mean, we're hanging out on the Discord all the time. Like, I got it up in the background. I believe... Yeah, Lore Master's chilling in my hut. I'm sometime known as Gloombringer. As Gloombringer is one of my characters. Gloombringer was a bard, a Githyanki bard, who, well, had an insatiable hunger for power and... well, didn't really care who got in the way, and quite frequently would make a daring act of heroics to push his party further towards ascension, and inevitably acquired his own ascension. Should I have to be an evil part? For what? For your one shot? Or for just an evil party? Like, for what? In general, how would you go implement an evil character in a party in general? Okay, there's 2 answers to this question. So, if you are implementing an evil character in a party in which not everybody is evil, I would consider motives for your character, and I would consider motives in a more realistic setting. I think a lot of times we get too caught up in the fantasy of things, and just think about real life. You know, like if you were a criminal and you stole things, right? Would you steal everything around you with no regard? Would you let your party members on to everything you're doing? You know, like, so there's a lot of aspects in which you can consider your evil and how it affects the people around you, right? And then, of course, how it affects you. Like, there's consequences with things. And I think that's another way to consider your evil characters. I can be evil, but there's consequences for this evil. Is your character an intelligence too? No, like, they're an intelligent person, so they would know if I did bad thing here, I would seek the repercussions of it soon. And do I want those, right? Continuing, like, how do you find motive to be with the party, right? Well, you gotta eat, right? Maybe this party is your best chance at just finding a group who's not gonna die. Maybe you're always hooking up with evil characters and they're always backstabbing you and betraying you. So you're an evil character, but you're gonna, you know, pawn your evil ways for a little bit just so you don't have to worry about watching your back with another party, right? You could work with your DM and find a way for your evil agent or your evil agenda to kind of sit on the side of this party until the very end, where it culminates and there's a backstabbing of the story, right? And everyone's betrayed and like, oh, how have you done this? And you're just with them in disguise the whole time. And then, you know, we could bring the answer over to like having an evil party, right? So if you were to have a party of all evil, well, again, some of those same concepts apply, you know? There's an art to being evil. You could be an aggressive, rampaging murder hobo, but then, again, some consequences will come down, right? But if you're a party of evil, then you very much would want to be, you know, manipulating things to your favor, using your, and a lot of times, I would, as a character, roleplay for our evil group. We actually had an evil group on Fridays where I'm taking this information from. My character would always tell people, you know, like, we can be powerful, but we're more powerful together. You know, we can all want to be the strongest person in the world, and that's great, because we're in D&D, there's multiple worlds that exist. You can be the most powerful in the dream. I can be the most powerful in the astral, and you can be the most powerful of the sea. But in order to obtain those things, maybe we got a little help along the way. Maybe we work together to achieve a greater power that we might not be able to achieve on our own. So there's kind of a beauty in the group. And when you're an evil character, I would say you don't always have to be evil. And everything you do doesn't have to be a negative decision or a negative thing. You can very much play along for your own agenda until it doesn't serve you anymore. I don't know if you've played Baldur's Gate, but I think like Asterian's like a really good example of this. Of someone who's just kind of role playing along with the party just because they need to get this tadpole figured out. Do they eat people? Are they a vampire at night? Yeah. Are they evil? Heck yeah. Does that mean they just kill everybody in the party and they can't coexist with other people in the world? No, that's not what that means. So I think there's like a big discrepancy between being evil and being like a sociopath or like a psychopath, right? Like those things don't correlate. Yeah, I like again taking this all from. I played. It was like about 2 years of an evil campaign we played. Which has sadly finished, but has happily been reconvened in the form of a new campaign. So, on that note, I'm going to take a little 5-minute break here, Temp. I'll just leave y'all in the office. And I'll be back. I'm just going to stretch my back, get something to drink. My coffee's dry. So we'll see you in a bit, Temp. Alright. We're back. Got my corn. Ice corn from my shoulder. Got my cat. Taking up the, taking up the capture here. Meow. Say hi to everybody, Harry. This is my cat, Harry. He's a cute one, but he's also a devil-may cat. Wow, yeah. Kisses. Harry. Bah. Stop. Get your butt off my keyboard. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Papa's got to work. Yes, I know. I know you missed your nappies today. Let's see here. That's going to be the first month. Hi. Yes. Hello. What, do you want to come sit on my lap? Come sit on my lap. Or where's your tinfoil? Distract you. Dude loves playing with tinfoil. Oh no. I never. Yeah. Okay. He keeps slipping on my jacket because it's so slippery. Yeah, get out of here! Get out of here! Ooh, Morgana! That's a cool name. I love that name. Yes, I love you too. Man, they make it hard. Downtime. Okay, after 2 weeks of downtime, the party will... Stop that. 2 weeks of downtime, the party will... We will commence monthly rolls. Scrolling up to our profession. Oh my gosh, dude, it's like his butt. See that? He's just throwing zeros. The one I just finished, it was 3 campaigns in one. We started with a campaign in which we were good characters and we had to defeat, what was it, a hag? Or like an evil dragon at the top of this mountain in the Silvermoors. And when we did that, one of our party members had like made a deal with their warlock patron to, can you just get off of my stuff? Like, what the hell, dude? Like, all you do is just get on my stuff. Just relax. Okay? That is telling a story. I just don't want your butt on all my things. His little poop butt. So the character made a deal, and then when we got to the final BBEG, they kind of changed their mind. Like they morally were like, oh, I don't want to betray my party anymore. So then they fought with us, and after giving them the book, and then my character was like this Asimir cleric, like super holy priest dude, and he ended up like sacrificing himself so the rest of the party would live, and like went like supernova, and it was pretty cool. And then we conscripted a new party, which was hired by some good people to do an adventure, and we were just some random adventurers. So they hired the wrong people. Is this kind of how the story went? And we set off with a page of this Necronomicon book to seek out the rest of the pages and kind of bring them together to bring them to safety. And we started talking to this hag along the way, started making some deals. Her name was Mother Vile. And we stop that. Stop that. Enough. All right, I need to find some foil. This cat is being a nuisance. Alright. That'll buy me like 5 minutes temp. Not even. So where was I? Oh, yeah. So we started working with Madame Vile, this hag. She like gave us some free weapons and some free goodies. Just as like a hey, I want you to work for me. And then of course, she hired the wrong guys. Everybody ended up backstabbing everybody that we were working for. And we ended up taking the pages and running for ourselves because we had Baron Raku with us, who was an old god who needed to be restored to ascension. That kind of became our new quest. Was like, hey, if we can help Baron become a god, well then we don't have to work for any gods. We don't have to we'll have our own god. Like he's vetted. He'll be in our debt, but also like our friend, our partner, right? And with that, we can then ascend even to more power. So that was the second campaign, was kind of collecting these pages, and eventually these angels started come running after us. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting to next. These angels started running after us, and we were kind of like, it was like a bad guys versus the good guys trying to obtain as many pages of the Necronomicon as we could. I'm blanking a little bit on how that campaign ended. But long story short, we ended up defeating them. We ended up gaining enough power and money to kind of create our own cult, which we call the Cirque de Magnifique, which is a circus of evil, nefarious, reasons that travels the world via a magical train. And our circus pops up, and we sell our drugs, and we make our money, and then maybe some dark deals go down in between, and we might leave the circus to go do some evil things to obtain more power, but we always come back to the circus. And like our characters from the first campaign became the leaders of this circus, and then we created new characters to work underneath our characters who are now gods and super powerful and like running the show. So yeah, it was like 3 campaigns into one. It lasted about 2-3 years. I started off good, switched over to evil, and then switched over to being like a super cult. And that's the character I was role playing earlier, Gloombringer. He became a patron of the Eye of Star, and kind of became this like astral vampire who'd suck people's life energy until they're dry. And he was a bard. Yeah. Some of my best friends. And like I said, we're going to be starting up a new game soon, which I'll be streaming that game as well. So that'll be fun to watch. The beginning of what should be a very long campaign. We'll be playtesting some new classes that the lore master cooked up for us. Okay. Scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. Um, let's see. So that's a big chunk of what I want to be tier 1. Oh, sir. What do we want to start getting into as far as like juice? Oh yes, an illegal warehouse. For the Thieves Brotherhood. Because that's why I want to introduce that real early. So I think that's really it. Yeah, it's just the militia and the Thieves Brotherhood, and them learning the relationship between that. So, oh yeah, I should change that. Let's see here. Let's see, a Swansea. Let's go find her. Swansea is one of my high-ranking officials on the militia. I also have another one. I forget her name offhand right now. Who do I want them to be working with? I want to introduce them to my other character there. Where are my badass female fighters? After injuring her shield hand, she retired Daggerford. Oh, there's a Swansea, yep. Okay. Could be Jesse. We need to add a new column for jobs. I think. Let's see. So it's not going to be a Swansea. It could be Jesse. I'm looking for a member of the militia that I can use to kind of take these players and say, hey, I got a job for you. Come with me. We're going to check this out. And I think that's definitely we could introduce Oiken. Here's an idea. So I had an idea here. So earlier I had thought that if they're on the night shift and they roll a good perception check, they might be able to see maybe some goings on off the wall. And perhaps they see a bunch of people carrying some things into Oiken's house, right? That's nothing to note. It's nothing. It's just because there are these people carrying all these boxes into this guy Oiken. I hardly know him, right? And then they go on this next mission. Fast forward a few weeks later, like a month or two later, they go on a mission with one of their lieutenants, and they're at this big warehouse, and they're looking for clues or evidence that these brotherhood's up to no good. They see this character, Oiken, in the warehouse, like doing who knows what. And he tries to run away. They apprehend him with non-lethal force. They question him, and they can't seem to find or pin anything on them. But a character that would recognize him would then remember, oh, I saw some mysterious people bringing some stuff into this dude's house. Maybe, hey, Lieutenant, maybe we should go check where he lives instead of the warehouse here. Maybe they moved the stuff we're looking for. And then they could case up on Oiken, who's it's like a guy who kind of gets caught and hung up a lot. And maybe it can be some minor petty stuff. I think that's a really good idea. It'll be some minor petty stuff. and like some drugs, like some skooma or what have you. And so that way we'll get back out in a few months, and he can be a returning character for the players to kind of apprehend. Which is his story. He's just in and out of prison, in and out of the jail all the time. I think I should change this. I think we're going to move house over here, because that's kind of besides the point. It's definitely besides the point. But again, we're still looking for... That's our jailer. I think it's just going to be Jesse. I think that's totally fine. Well, we went way too far. There we are. Yeah, I think Jesse's fine. And Swansea comes at the end of Act 1 to ask these guys or offer them to be, you know, do you want to come out and ride on a patrol with me? You guys did good. I heard you guys did good for Jesse there, you know. Let's see. And I think I'm like second guessing my gold for experience, because it doesn't serve me very well when these players are working in the militia. You know, it serves me a bit better if they were just straight adventurers and we were doing it that way. But I'm not. I'm trying to do it to a little different application. So I think we're just going to do it two ways. And I think it makes a lot more sense for me, and what I have planned here is we'll have experience given and we'll have gold gained for business, for your business levels. Experience will be dry. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm still, you know, back and forth on some things. So let's see. Old Jesse, come on over. They'll be needed for Do I have them situated? I don't think I have them necessarily situated yet. I do know that. Let me look here. 79-ish is where I have them. Oh, doing this again. There we go. There we go. These three. Yard storage. So that's where they're at. Taylor's fed. So these guys are kind of hanging out down around here. It'd probably be some building over here. Do I have empty buildings over here? 35? Is 35 destroyed? Nope, somebody lives there. That's no, 45 destroyed. 35, excuse me. Empty. Destroyed, empty. Empty, destroyed. Let's look around here. Empty, destroyed. 51? Where's 51? It's a big building across the way. Not bad. Something in the 40s and the 20s. All jammed up. So I think that's the one we gotta roll with. 51. Let's see. 51. We go from the barracks to lot 51. Search the premises for illicit goods. Very nice, very nice. There's really nothing on this building. Could be anything I want it to be. I don't think there's going to be any alleyway between these buildings, so... So let's think. The drill field is over here. Players would come up, down here to the high road, and march up, da-da-da-da. So they'd probably come in through this door. So yeah, it just sneaks out the back. Escape out the side door. And where is he gonna flee? I think just run back to his house. No, I mean run to the flea market. Yeah, that's better. He'll do a loop and try and lose him in the flea market. That's fun. $101. Let's see here. We meet for training the second time. Jesse approaches them, informs them of the mission they're needed for. She briefs them, then dismisses them until the evening. They will go from the barracks to Lot 51 to search the premise for illicit goods. Investigate the area thoroughly. Finding nothing of note. A hooded figure will attempt to escape out the side door. Gonna be flavor. Alright. This is a big chunk of gameplay I have here. What level will they be? And how do I want to address this Thieves' Brotherhood? Seems... Hmm. I think I just give them 1 day leave no matter what. That's what I want. Let me repeat this. So where would we be at? This is 2 months in. Where do we think we would be at level-wise? There's 100, 1 or 2 encounters here, so there's level 2. Say 1 here. Level 2 here. 100. Skip that quest. $100 is 200, 300. 300 plus 300. So they should be about level 3-ish at this point. 2 months in. I think. Oh, here, sorry, I gotta catch up to you, Temp. Do's and don'ts for dungeon mastering. Well, you said you're just starting out. So there's honestly not too many don'ts for you. A lot of do's. Just do. People want to play D&D and there's not enough DMs, and people like to play games, and you know, you might not have the best game, but you're running a game, and that's fun to a certain extent, right? And as you just do, you'll learn, and you'll start to want to learn more, and you'll be like, hey, I really didn't roleplay that session the way I wanted it to go. Maybe next time I do it, I can do it this way, right? Or, man, when we went to the city, it didn't really play out the way I saw it playing out. How can I fix that, right? And I think as dungeon masters, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and it would be naive to say that, you know, any dungeon master has only strengths, right? We all have spots that we can work on. So in that sense, you know, don't hold back. Just make one-shots, make a campaign, and just play. And as you play, you'll start to hone your skills, and you'll start to focus in on things. You'll realize what you're really good at, and you'll also realize what you struggle with. And as a DM, it's really important for us to kind of build on those parts that we struggle, because we run so much of the world. We're everything, right? The players don't see anything that we don't say or describe. Another piece of advice I'd say is try to be a yes and DM, where in a sense, when a player wants to do something, find a way to make it work, right? So instead of saying no but or no and, you say yes and. Say, I want to storm the castle. And you're in the back of your head, you're like, wow, you're level 3 and this is never going to work. You'll all die if you storm this castle. You could say yes, and we can set up a path for you to obtain more levels, and maybe obtain a plan to attack this castle, right? Maybe they go to Waterdeep instead. They ask around some bars. They have a guy who has a tip but needs them to do a job first. They go out, they do this job, they obtain 2 more levels. Now they're level 5. Now they can actually fight a bit. They go back to the guy at the bar. He gives them the tip. He says there's a secret entrance in the castle that they want to storm, right? So, like, yes, and here's all the things you need to do to get that done respectively. Don't just like say, oh yeah, you know, don't make anything happen for any reason, you know. Work with it. Build the story. Well, to an extent, you know, like, here's a good conversation to have, right? You know, like the old seduce the dragon thing with bards, right? Like, there's some things that just aren't feasibly possible, right? There's some things that, like, say, I convince the king to give up his kingdom and give it to me instead. I rolled a 30 on my persuasion check. Like, that doesn't work like that, right? There's things that can be unrealistic, and there's things that can have really large repercussions and consequences. But there's also, you know, drawing the line in between that and heroics and these unthinkable feats that are accomplished, right? When we play a fantasy game, we want to feel like the hero or feel like the evil villain who has all this power and has done these crazy and incredible things. So I don't want to encourage you to, you know, not give your players those feelings and give them, you know, a way to act that out. It's good to have your players feel like they win. It's good to have your players feel like they're the best. That's kind of what we're going for. But in that same sense, I think, finding the balance and drawing the line comes down to, sometimes some players' wants outweigh the needs of the rest of the party, right? And if you have a problem player who thinks they can get anything done with a nat 20, well, then you as the DM have the power to stop that and to direct that in different ways. And yeah, and kill God, right? So it's like there's limits to that. But I also like I truly stand by, like, I think a lot of dungeon masters get caught up in running a game and being a part of the game, in thinking it's dungeon master versus the party, and like we're playing this little war game of like Battleship, where it's my side versus your side, and I'm trying to beat you guys and you're trying to beat me. And that's really not what we're doing at all, like even remotely close. Like what the dungeon masters should be doing is trying to make the other side of the Battleship player feel like they're destroying the shit out of the game over here, and they're doing so good, and they always guess right, and they're always accomplishing things via their rolls. You let the rolls decide what happens, but once the players get of a certain level, they start really hammering through these rolls, right? And they start learning what they can do and what they can't do, and they start doing high percentage things. So it's kind of, I'm talking about more higher level play, I guess, in a sense. Once you start getting plus 10 to your persuasion check, it's pretty easy to convince a guard every now and then. But, there's ways that you can prevent that. You're not just going to let a guard who's, say, guarding the front gate to a large city might be easily persuaded to let you in without paying a gold to get in, right? No tithe. But the guard protecting the king at the palace damn sure is not going to be bribed by a one piece of gold to let you inside the castle where the king is. You know what I mean? So it's like it's always going to be a DM decision. It's always going to be kind of up to you how things play out. But just know that you have the control in that moment. You have the ability to balance things. Yeah, what else could I say about dungeon mastering? Just do set boundaries and set balance for yourself. I don't know if you do character voices, but if you don't, I would recommend just doing them, just trying them. And a lot of people, think you have to do a lot of really cool, interesting voices and stuff. You don't really have to. You can just, like, I really enjoyed one of my dungeon masters. We were doing Blades in the Dark, and there was a guy, and every time a female character came up, he didn't do like a full female voice, but he kind of just like changed the inflection of his voice a little bit, so you knew as the player, like, oh, that, like, this isn't that character. And it was very reminiscent of if you've ever listened to like an audiobook where the person is narrating a story and they have different characters that they need to narrate, but it's one voice that does all the characters, right? So they just change their voice just a little bit, and like they'll have different ranges that they'll go to, just to give you that immersion, to give you the sense of this is different than the other person that I was talking to. And I think if you try just a little bit as a dungeon master to do character voices, you'll be surprised at how effective it is at creating an immersive environment. And I really couldn't, encourage people more to just try it, and maybe in the beginning you're not so good, and you need to work on it, but that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to practice and get better and role play and improv. And all these skills can't be obtained by reading the dungeon master's text, the DMG, or, like, they can only be obtained in the moment, with the pressure, with the decision on your lap, right? That's how improvers learn how to improv, is in trial by fire, right? So the only way to learn is to do. And so that's what I recommend. Right? Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times people are uncomfortable to kind of switch genders or do something kind of out of their comfort zone. And what I have to say to that is kind of, I think in time, those boundaries start getting a little bit, chiseled away, where we get more comfortable. And I definitely think having a good group to play with that makes you feel comfortable at the table encourages that as well. But yeah, I think it's something that grows on us. The more we role play, the more characters we make in fantasy, the more boxes we've checked off. And then when we go to make a new character, we're like, well, maybe I'll try something new. What haven't I done yet? I guess I could try this. I mean, in a few years, like the characters that you decide to play are going to be immensely different than the characters you decide to play now. So it's like inevitably we all just kind of grow as DMs and player characters and Dungeon and Dragons players. That works. I mean, you can do pretty much whatever you want within reason. I think as long as there's a story that can be told about it. And a lot of people have different ideas of what stories they should be telling. So find some people that want to tell the story you want to tell, right? Oh, I'm gonna be right back. I got my ice. I gotta put it back in the freezer. It's in my armpit right now. All right. I'll leave y'all in the office for a minute. We're back. Yeah. You know, just me sitting in my office. I kind of love this, like War Master. Look how good this is. Look at how good the angle is. I think if I raise my capture a little bit, it looks good. But like I'm like damn sure I was sitting in this office. Like I did. Here's me complimenting myself. I'm gonna make another one. I can't wait to make another one. I'll do one for all my captures. I gotta do one for Monday. All right, Jezebel. I'm trying to show off my office here. Trying to show off my office here, girl. What's your butt? Beat it. Yeah, I gotta find my D20. My cat lost my D20. Go ahead. Come on. Out you go. Yeah, don't blow me. Oh. I think I'm just chilling. I mean... We can recap. We'll do a recap. So, Tier 1. This is the very beginning of the campaign. Party is going to meet at the drill field for their first day of training, where they will see Delphin Underbarrel, the head wizard of Daggerford, and Gren Longhand, the master at arms of Daggerford. The two will lead them in magical and martial training. The two respective roles for each member, martials and magicals, they'll each make, basic DC AC 10 checks. Healers, I put a little caveat for them to do something a little different. We got all of these skills kind of checked off, and there can be an open conversation if players see they want to do something a little different as a militia member. But we'll try to keep it mostly, combat training. The party will reconvene at the barracks to unwind and plan out their evening. The following morning, at dawn, the players will begin guard duty. It's a 2-part shift, 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening, with an hour for lunch in between. Most militiamen attend the mess hall in the barracks, however, it is not required. Each 4-hour shift comes with perception checks. Upon meeting a DC 20, I will roll upon the random rumor list and or just hand feed them a rumor that I want to give them. This first one, I think I'll put in parentheses here. First, I can just delete this. There will see suspicious activity of large crates being delivered to lot 51. Alright, they would see Lycan sitting upon his front porch smoking a pipe. The party would then reconvene at the barracks to unwind and plan their evening. Let's see. The following morning, players will begin guard duty. Each 4-hour shift will come with a perception check and random encounter rolls. Check the sheet for perception of encounter. If there is no encounter upon meeting a DC 20, roll on the random rumor list. The party would then reconvene at the barracks to finish their shift. The party would then get 2 weeks of downtime after serving 2 days on the wall and 1 day training. The party would, after this downtime, would reconvene at the barracks for their second monthly shift. Each player would then have a the following morning at dawn. Yeah, there we go. The following morning at dawn, each 4-hour shift would come with perception check. Yada yada yada. The party would then reconvene, unwind, plan out their evening. Again, the following morning at dawn, each player would come with a perception check and random encounters. If there's no encounter, they roll upon the DC 20 random rumor list. The party would then reconvene at the barracks to finish their shift. And then they would get... I gotta think about this. So we have a day... beginning of the month. First of the month, training. 1, 2, 3. 2 weeks off. They come back. 1, 2. It would be halfway through the month, and then it would be 2 weeks off. We'll do 30-day months. 5 days on. So 3 days on. What's 25? Divided by 2 would be... So 12 days. So... They get 12 days of downtime in between each. Then they would at the month end, the players who own a profession would roll a D100 business check to determine their expenses. Players who worked a job would gain their monthly wages. The party would then stop this. That's our first month of gameplay. The party would then meet at the drill field for their second day of training. Jesse, Jezel, and Constanza will then pull them aside to inform them of a mission they will be needed for. She'll brief them and dismiss them until the evening. They will go from the barracks to Lot 51 to search the premises for illicit goods. After the players investigate the area thoroughly, finding nothing of note, a hooded figure, Oiken, will attempt to escape out the side door. Oiken runs east towards the flea market, attempting to evade the players. If the players are unsuccessful, Oiken escapes to his home at Lot 101. If the players capture him, they may bring him to jail for questioning. A player may have seen evidence of items being transferred to Oiken's house. Remind them if so. The party would then get 1 day of leave for their extra work on this mission. Let's see here. Experience gain. Party reconvenes at the barracks for their second monthly shift. Each 4-hour shift will come with perception checks and random encounters. Party reconvenes at the barracks online, plan out their evening. Each 4-hour shift will come with perception checks. I need to put for their second monthly shift. And this repeats again for 1 whole month. And then on month 2, repeat guard shifts until party is level 3. Then let's say here, the other day I played a system called Veja, Mascara, Old Mask in English, which was kind of like comic superheroes. That's interesting. Oh! I like experimenting with a new system here and there. However, I tend to play a lot of D&D. I think D&D has a more 5e specifically has a very basic vanilla-ness to it, and I like that because it allows me, the DM, to kind of come in and add the flavor where I want it. And it's like kind of like DND5e is kind of like a good canvas for me as a DM, I believe. Oh, I need to be right back. I have my snack. Thank you very much. I was muted. What was I saying? I was saying I think that's pretty awesome that you're the MVP. I mean, what character were you playing there? Uh, there's only 3 there, so I mean that's a 4-6. You're outnumbered 2-1. I had a heroic moment like that not so long ago on my campaign. Electric powers. Is this in that system called Veja? Mascara? Old Mask? Or is this D&D? Question is, no, I know what the answer is. Let me bring my map up. This is what this quest is going to be. Well, I bet your electric powers came in pretty clutch there, because they were robots. You get like advantage or like double damage or anything on your... Because like doesn't like shock and grasp like auto crit if they're metal? So I think it's going to be the Flotion Estate. Or just it's going to be the beginning of the stuff for Flotion. Is what this quest is going to be. Ryu's got some good rolls. Nice. Very nice, very nice. That's sweet. Yeah, sometimes the rolls just come out in your favor, right? And you're just the hero just because of the rolls. Or do we want... It's low level. Do I want to save that? Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking. I mean, maybe some random ideas could help for my viewers. But so I need a level 3 to 5-ish quest, like short quest, where they would leave Daggerford. They would go to either maybe the shore, the coastline. This is what I'm thinking. Either they go to the shore or the coastline, because the chain link that runs the boats up the water, like a watchtower that keeps an eye over it, hasn't like sent message back. So we go to figure out what's going on. We see that they've been killed, and we see that some lizard men have attacked from the marsh. And then they can, of course, maybe leave the horses, go in to the bog, and do a little lizard man raid, I think. Very similar to, what is it? It's under Ilfbarn, the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons module. And I have a little lizard camp that I could use, too. Or we have them go up to the Flotion Estates, which is where several orcs and hobgoblins are kind of just loitering. They were doing some nefarious things, but that has like since forth been quelled, and now they're just like inhabiting this estate, and they have been fully like ousted, I guess. And they're effectively just raiding the trade caravan, the tradeway, right south of them there. So I'm not sure. Hi there. Welcome to my channel. Let's have a little snack quick. Doing a little extra stream today. I got some rest this morning, so feeling pretty good. Hey, it's Radish. What's going on? So I'm a little torn here. I'm torn. I don't know what I want to do for my quest. It's all right. They're cutting back on my medication. It's about 2 months post-op, so this is when I'm supposed to be like done with the medication and just okay. But like I'm definitely not okay. I'm in a bunch of pain. I'm just in discomfort. I'm still healing. So it's been hard. These last few days have been tough, but I'm hanging in there. The stream helps distract me a bit, and some cannabis, I guess. But I wish I didn't have to use as much cannabis to kind of compensate for the lack of medicinal support. But I mean, it is a good thing. You can't be on meds like that forever, so I gotta find a way. So this is me doing that. But thanks for asking, Rash. I appreciate that. How are you doing? How have you been? We haven't gotten any games in lately. I think I've figured out my new way in League of Legends, which is not playing jungle anymore and just playing support and being a wicked badass down there. So that's what I've been catching a couple League of Legends games here and there. Flotion or Crom? Or not, no, not Croms, just random lizard raid. You know, why not both? Why not both? Let's get these, it's been a couple months. And if these characters can show us that, they're capable, well then we need capable people, and we're trying to get these people, you know, interested in being part of the permanent militia, the guard, the Daggerfordian guard. So maybe they do like 2 missions here. Maybe the first mission is bringing them to just check on this tower. They do some detective work to figure out that it's some lizards. It's pretty easy to find out, but they do some detective work. They go to the Lizard Marsh. They shore up the transport of ships that come up into Daggerford for trade. And then once that's complete, they get some days off of rest, and then they get conscripted again by a Swansea to ride horses up to the Flotion estate to shore up a more difficult challenge in maybe ousting these orcs and hobgoblins from the estate. I think that's more of a level 4 or level 5 type thing, because that might take a couple days for them. That'll be more of a dungeon crawl, I think, where they'll have to get in there and they'll be stuck, and they'll have to, you know, take everybody out however they determine to do it. You know, I always assume players are going to go in there guns a-blazing, and then they're like, hey, can I ask my god to parlay with their leader to see if we can make a deal to be friends? And I'm like, yes, and... But, you know, this is what we live for. This is it. So, yeah, I think that's the answer. Por qué no los both? Dos. Somebody help me say that. See, I am not good at Spanish. Oh, undo. Yeah. Level 3. Offer them another mission. Brief them and inspect them to acquire draft horses and meet by the which gate? The northern gate. the caravan gate. By the caravan gate. Ride west. Oh, maybe they take a boat. Maybe this first one's a boat. What do you think about that? To be crazy, got one ring. A second edition game, nice. Nice, nice. Good to hear, Radish. Good to hear. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have the opportunity to say, hey, like, these players just take a raft down the river. No, it would make more sense for them to be ride. Because they gotta get back. They could take the chain thing back, I guess. The geography of the river? How do you mean? Greyflow River flows towards the ocean. It marshes out here at the base. At the mouth, I should say. There's a hook in the river, so I've kind of just decided that there's a tower right here by this tree grouping that is the first stage in a chain link, which is where they drop a steel chain in the water, and boats will hook to it, kind of like a ferry. It pulls them upriver so that they can get all the way up to Daggerford. I would say it's like just a medium current. It's nothing like crazy, not rapids. It boils out into a marsh here, so I assume it's very wide. So there's a lot of places for this water to kind of disperse, therefore there wouldn't be too much rapid or too much speed about it. But there's still very much an outward current where the boats would need to go kind of uphill, you know, to get to Daggerford. So in history past, like it's quite common for people to use what I described as like a chain link, or like a ferry system, where they pull a boat up the river with this chain. If the river was wide enough, which I don't think this one is, then perhaps sailboats could tack up the river when the wind provided. But I don't think that's the situation here. And this city it's got a lot of smiths and a lot of access to iron via its Dwarven allies and Illifarn, so they would be able to have a massive chain system that they could repair and keep in place. And I think it's like the one new technology that I've kind of like given them to step them up in the world. What enemies are in the water? So nothing's in the water, but the lizard marsh is quite literally lizards. It's lizard people. They've been there for ever. Okay, cats. Jeez. You got a cat fight going on. Knocking my camera. Jezebel, I just let you out. Cut it out. There's lizards. So lizard people. So they've existed for a while. They've always been there. It's always been like an issue that's conflicted with the human people of Daggerford. Normally it's not a problem, since we have Crom's Hold to keep an eye on things. But every now and then some wily young lizards try to call a shot or something, I guess. I could very much minimize the lizard people in my campaign, as it might not be a story I want to tell. Maybe they're not there. Maybe I just do the Orcs and Flotion and I skip this. But I thought it might be nice to do like a cute little level 3 quest down here in the Lizard Marsh. where I could do a bunch of different checks on them. And because here, we'll go read about the Lizard Marsh. The Lizard Marsh was a large bayou in the delta of the Dillenbeer River, meeting the Sea of Swords. The Dillenbeer River, also called the River Shining, plunged into the bogs and scattered waterways of the swamp delta. The marsh was filled with cold and humid hanging moss-filled mangroves. The marshes did not freeze over in the winter, turning into slush instead. Sages were not sure of the reasons why that was the case. Some believed it was because of the seawater, while others suspected a magical phenomenon. A subterranean underwater cave connected the old dried-up well in Daggerford's western farmlands. The tunnel could only be traversed by the strongest swimmer and aquatic creatures. Ooh, that's an interesting note. A subterranean cave connected the old dried-up well in Daggerford western farmlands. Where are those? Ah! They've done it again! They put the city underneath the river. Unless it's upside down. But that's not. That's north. Eastern, western. I keep getting conflicting stories. We're Hey, we'll see you, Radish. Let's see. There still would be western farmlands, I guess. Yeah, it's telling me it's like right here. Right there and there. Right there. Blah, blah. So old dried up well, tunnel. Do I even want that to be a storyline or something? Yeah, I don't know what does WYPIWYR mean? Blah. Will you come on, you cat? You really want my food over here. Do you want this? There's a pizza crust. I think just keep it simple. I don't know. Let's just table these things. It's 3 hours. Should probably just take a break. Play some games and relax. Alright, well. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. I'll be on tomorrow doing the same thing. So if you got some ideas that you're working on tonight, let's hear about them tomorrow. And we're gonna, on the second half of the week, we're gonna work our way into some these cats are crazy. They're all attacking me because of my lunch. We're gonna work our way into some Dungeon Alchemists, which is a map making program. So you get to see some great visual aids that I make for this campaign that will all be kind of to scale lore specific 5e maps We'll do Daggerford. We'll do some other places around the area, like the Flotian Estates and maybe a lizard camp in the marsh. But yeah, some more creation to be had soon, and we'll see y'all later.